So what's up everybody, Black Clover 341 spoilers are out. They are fire. I mean pure flames. We got to see more of the 7 Ryuzen as well as Yami's backstory. There seems to be more to it. We thought that Yami got lost on a fishing trip, but we're starting to see that is more to it, and it could be a lie. Honestly, it could just be Yami running away from his past, which makes sense as to why he never tried to come back. I did try to make a video about this and Yami's relationship with his family. It's kind of annoying I didn't get the chance to actually put it out, but I was literally editing that video and then I see the spoilers and it's like, oh well, I guess I have to do that another day. So hopefully I can save certain parts of that video, but I will still make a video about Yami's family and the possibility of what exactly happened with what we've been revealed. So let's get into these Black Clover 341 spoilers. First of all, if you like anime, manga reviews, discussion, spoilers, and theories, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, so they should hit me with some false copyright strikes. So let's get this channel back to 5,000. Check out the Discord. So this chapter was very interesting. We got to see more of the 7 Ryuzen. As well, we got a better explanation as to what is zetten. We realized different terms mean different things in this chapter, as well as we got to see a little bit more of character and who Ichika is in this chapter. There's like a bonding moment with the readers. You kind of get like a better feel to her. After what was revealed at the end of the chapter, you understand why she acts the way she acts towards Ryu and why she is loyal. I'm not going to go in order, but I'm going to go with what I see. I do have a couple of pages translated. Also, bad news is that there's a break next week. So the bombshell of this chapter was basically the reason why we had to wait for the next one, because we're going to get a more in-depth backstory with Yami. It is what it is. I think it's going to be worth the wait. So you see 𝚲𝚘𝚎 and he's on a rock looking at the sky. It looks like it's nighttime. He's saying they basically own me. None of these people were using magic or Ryuku as they call it here, but this zetten is so amazing. While having a close combat with the 4 of them, I found out that, and then it's like kind of skips. We don't really see what's going on because after that Ichika comes in, but with that you do get a sense that 𝚲𝚘𝚎 did spar with 4 of the other Ryuzen. You know, their appearance are kind of very Japanese, except for the woman. She kind of reminds me of the 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚑𝚝 from Naruto. I think the one with the 7 tails, if I'm not mistaken, but she seems like full of energy. I liked it. And then there's a guy with the mask. I think it's an Oni mask, if I'm not mistaken. They're basically talking to 𝚲𝚘𝚎 and they're saying for Ryu-san's sake. 𝚲𝚘𝚎's saying, I'm guessing let's do this all again. Like he wants to continuously train, and you see the fish of Fumito in the background. So obviously 𝚲𝚘𝚎 is getting his butt whooped, but he's getting healed. Something similar to what I predicted. If this chapter was going to focus on 𝚲𝚘𝚎, I could tell he was going to get beat up by these people and him possibly seeing more of the 7 Ryuzen. So I was right in that aspect, but I was kind of hoping that we get an update with everybody, because there is like a little mention where 𝚲𝚎𝚎's thinking like, what are the other people doing right now? Because 𝚲𝚲𝚎 most likely knows that they probably think that he's a goner, like he disappeared. They don't know what happened to him and he was on death's door. So it's good to see that 𝚲𝚎𝚎's still thinking about them. Also, we get kind of an explanation as to zetten. There's different types of zetten and there's different ways of using it depending on different kinds of people. Zetten being the power of 10. Some people kick a power of 5 twice, or some people punch with a power of 2 5 times. That's interesting to think about it. Zetten, it has 10 in it. I couldn't believe I didn't see that, but it's basically has to do with the number 10. This power does not need mana. It's something that's out of the system of mana, which further confirms as to what I was saying before. There's going to be a power system based with ki, and it looks like that's the case. And I'm glad that 𝚲𝚘𝚎 still can learn how to be powerful even without mana. Obviously he's using anti-magic, but still, if Libe say were somehow to not possess 𝚲𝚘𝚎 in the future, 𝚲𝚘𝚎 still has the power to fight with zetten, ki, and also his sword skills. I really like how Tabata is making 𝚲𝚎𝚎 not rely so much on devil powers and have his form of fighting as well. Like even though Libe got defeated by 𝚲𝚎𝚎 by sword skills, 𝚲𝚎𝚎's sword skills plus the zetten power, he's gonna be on another level. 𝚲𝚎𝚎 is on the ground saying, I need to practice exploiting the openings of my opponents, which is super hard as I need to be able to execute a perfect zetten. I wonder what everybody's doing now. The sky of this country is so cloudy. Ichika comes in, learning a little bit more of zetten, how their power system works. That kind of gives you an idea as to Ryu. Ryu does not have mana, or whatever they call it, Ryoku, Yokuruku, something like that. I can't pronounce it. But he doesn't have mana and Asta doesn't have mana. So the perfect person to learn with is Ryu. Obviously Ryu is busy. We learn later on that the country is not as stable as it should be, but Asta is literally in the best place for him to get stronger. I mean, obviously it's written that way. It's a little convenient, but I still think Asta might have something to do with the land of the rising sun. It would be so epic if Asta's father has something to do with this place, because the more I think about it, the more I start putting two and two together. Say people without mana are more common in the land of the rising sun, it's because they use zetten. There might be a possibility that there's a connection. Also, one of you guys told me that Asta, the reason why he's able to learn all these things so quickly is because he literally survived in 𝚤𝚙𝚅𝚎 womb, who stills life force. So of course he's going to be a master of using ki, which is life force. That makes sense. So Ichiga comes in and Asta realizes that she's there. He says, Ichiga. Asta looks like he's probably trying to understand, what should I call you? Because Asta's saying San Don Chan. Like he's trying to figure out what exactly to call her, you know, out of respect. Asta goes, I'm 18. What about you? She says she's 24. Asta's like, wow, I really thought you were my age. Ichiga takes offense to that because she's thinking that he means that she's childish, but he said, no, you just look youthful. If you think about it, Yami is about 5 to 6 years older than her, which makes sense because Yami did look like the older brother. She did look younger. She didn't look like she was in her 30s. So timeline wise, it makes sense, especially when we see towards the end of the chapter, because we start the flashback with Yami going to the Clover Kingdom or getting lost. You see Ichiga, but she looks like a really young kid. And Asta's trying to like figure out what to call Ichiga, like out of respect. He's like, then Ichika Nisan. Ichiga just goes, no, that's fine. You can just call me by my first name. Ichika informs Asta that was asked by Ryu to look after Asta. Ichika further explains that Ryo-sama in fact is extremely busy despite his appearance, serving in the still unstable administration of the land of the rising sun. And I said that before, that the land of the rising sun is not as in order as we thought it was. It looks like there's a lot of possible independent states within the land of the rising sun that don't want to be governed by the shogun, which will be very cool if we have like a samurai battle. I'm just saying, like the old isolation period samurai battle. For those who don't know, a lot of like foreigners, specifically Portuguese, went to Japan, and there was legends like foreigners getting involved in the local customs of Japan. There was a black samurai. That's where it comes from as well. We also get an explanation as to Ryu's power. He actually uses a technique called 𝚤𝚙𝚙𝚎𝚛. I can't even pronounce that. I tried. Basically, to govern the country, he uses his right eye to see every phenomenon that's going on in the present, which is why he could see Asta appearing where he was going to appear, because he has that right eye. He has that ability. That'd be very cool if Asta has something like that. Maybe not his eye, but some type of ability that makes him have supernatural reflexes or supernatural ability to sense things, to makes him look like he's almost predicting the future. I really like that if Asta were to get some type of power like that. Asta's basically saying, what is the meaning of that? Isn't it just amazing? Ichiga calls Asta a fool, and this is the part that was very adorable, to say the least, because Ichiga shows that she has a very strong connection with Ryu, and I think honestly Ryu helped her out once Yami left. She's basically saying Ryu-sama has no Rukyu, which basically means like no mana. With his clairvoyance, wisdom, and popularity, united the land of the rising sun in very turbulent times. Can such a stranger loser like you even understand? No, you can't. That person is truly wonderful. So she's just showing how much she admires and respects Ryu. Basically similar to how Asta probably feels about Yami. I really like that. We get like a little adorable moment with Ichiga, and we also get like her opening up a little bit, because we get to see who she truly is. Before we didn't really see who she was, and she kind of just seems like a off-putting type of person, but I'm glad that we got an explanation as to what's her backstory, why she doesn't care about Yami, and why Ryu is so important to her. And she says, this very person is telling me to train you. I don't like you, but for his sake I will deal with you. That's the extent to which I trust him. Asta goes, Ryu? And then Ichiga goes, not only because he's a shogun, but he also saved me and I owe a lot to him, which is basically the beginning of what I've been hinting this whole entire time. Asta mentions Yami, and Ichiga doesn't like that. She says, stop talking about that man. He's like, that man, you mean Captain Yami? Asta asks, why aren't you interested in talking about your own brother? Speaking of it, I believe he drifted into the Clover Kingdom after his ship got wrecked in a fishing trip. He was just probably saying random things. And then Ichiga goes, that man is worse than scum. I don't want to hear about him. That's kind of letting you know that something bad happened. Asta goes, how can you say that as his sister? It's true that Captain Yami is a bit messed up, but Ichigo just completely cuts him off and says that man killed our entire family. And then you get the start of the flashback and you see Ichigo as a kid. Ichigo is basically running to Yami and Yami has his little fishing pool. Yami says stay close. Unfortunately, there's a break next week, so we're not going to see this backstory play out into 2 weeks from now, but still, it's epic. These spoilers are fire. Black Clover is so good right now. So that's basically all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the spoilers. Let me know what you think about Yami. Do you think Yami actually did kill off his whole entire clan, or do you think it was an accident? Do you think Yami might have dabbled with some devils by accident? Do you think Yami is gonna ever repair his relationship with his sister? Do you think Yami is lightweight becoming like Itachi? Because this is looking like what Itachi did to Sasuke. What do you think about the new Ryuzen that we saw? We technically have seen 5, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. Do you think Asta is going to have some type of training with Ryu? Do you think it's possible that Asta might learn that eye technique that Ryu used, or he's gonna have his own? All right, like if you like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'm out of here.